I walk past this graffiti in my neighbourhood regularly, and as someone most would label giddy, I never see it as applying to me. I've lived in Spain for almost 3 years now. Our youngest barely remembers our old life in Australia. He was very little when we moved here. I've made friends who have become family, and I can't imagine ever leaving. And yet, there is a growing hostility towards foreigners moving to Spain. The media often portrays it as an outpouring of frustration through protests, confrontations, and acts of vandalism. I'm here to offer an authentic, on-the-ground perspective and ask an honest question. Can you really blame them? In today's video, I'm going to tell you what it's really like to live in Spain as a foreigner. I'm going to explain why I don't believe this sign has ever or will ever apply to me. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mel Moss, and if you've been around for a while, thank you so much for your support, and welcome everyone to We Dreamed of Spain. In the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia, one of the most common complaints you'll hear isn't about immigration itself. It's about integration. People become frustrated when newcomers arrive, but make little effort to learn the language, live almost exclusively within communities of their own country, and seem unwilling to participate in the culture around them. At the mild end of the scale, that frustration shows up as annoyance, comments about people not fitting in, complaints that neighbourhoods are changing, a feeling that newcomers aren't interested in becoming part of the community you've joined. At the more extreme end, that frustration can become something darker: hostility, anger, political movements built on fear. Demands for stricter immigration policies, public protests, and sometimes immigrants become convenient scapegoats for problems that are far bigger and more complex: housing shortages, stagnant wages, and the rising cost of living. So when you see Spaniards expressing frustration, can you honestly say their feelings are completely unwarranted?
Traditionally, Spain has been viewed as a cheap place in the sun for retirees from the UK and Northern Europe. Large stretches of the Spanish coastline have been transformed by housing developments that have altered the natural landscape and created entire English-speaking enclaves where some residents make little effort to engage with Spanish culture, traditions, or even the language. More recently, the rise of social media and influencer culture has romanticized Spain to the point of absurdity. It's portrayed as a place of cheap living, free healthcare, endless sunshine, and an easy life. And while I'm the first person to tell you that life in Spain can be incredible, it's not because any of those things. Mercadona isn't a religion. Healthcare isn't free. I pay high taxes, and healthcare is one of the services I receive in return. And if I'm honest, life here is harder than many influencers would have you believe. David and I are working, raising 3 children, and trying to build a secure future in a country we've chosen to call home. There is no perfect place. And when locals watch influencers day after day telling the world how much better their lives are, while simultaneously helping drive up prices, making it harder for local families to buy groceries, rent an apartment in the barrio they grew up in, or imagine a future for their children, surely you can understand where some of that frustration comes from.
But I want you to stick with me here, because despite all this, despite the rising cost of living, despite disrespectful foreigners, despite people refusing to learn the language or engage with the culture, the Spanish people remain some of the warmest, most welcoming people I have ever met. Take a look through the comments on my videos and you'll see it for yourself. Again and again, you'll find generosity, kindness, encouragement, and an overwhelming desire to share their culture, traditions, and values with anyone willing to appreciate them. So why do I receive what often feels like the royal guest treatment, while others faced protests, water pistols, hostility, and violence? Why in almost 3 years of living in Spain have I never had a negative experience? Well, if you stick around, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did. Number 1, I started speaking Spanish immediately. My Spanish is far from perfect. I make mistakes, I struggle with tenses, and as you've probably heard in my videos, my pronunciation always needs work. But I don't care. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. Everyone will say to you, learn the language, but I want to expand on that. Start speaking simple phrases immediately. In my experience, Spanish people are incredibly patient. They'll politely ignore your error, gently correct you, help you find the right word, and appreciate the effort. They won't slip into English once they realize you're an English speaker. Instead, they will converse with you at your pace and try as much as possible to communicate with you. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn. Number 2, I chose a Spanish neighborhood. When I moved to Spain, I wanted to live in Spain. I didn't dream of moving abroad only to surround myself with people exactly like me. I wanted Spanish neighbors, Spanish conversations, and Spanish culture woven into my everyday life. Today, I live amongst families who have been there for generations. They welcomed me into their barrio, not as an outsider, but as someone who genuinely wanted to be part of it. Number 3, I learned the local manners. One of the first things I noticed in Spain was how important simple greetings are. I say good morning to everyone, shopkeepers, neighbors, dog walkers, people sitting on benches. If I walk into a shop, I acknowledge everyone. I walk past someone, I smile and wish them a good day. If I'm introduced to somebody in my local area or a bar, I record their name and I remember it. Those small interactions add up. Over time, strangers become familiar faces as you become part of the community. And here, they really care about you. My children are known in our neighborhood. I know that someone is always looking out for them. We feel safer here than anywhere we have ever lived. There is zero hostility towards my family. Instead, we belong. And number 4, I support local businesses. We could do the entirety of our shopping in large supermarkets and chain stores. It would probably be quicker and more convenient. Instead, we choose local bakeries, family-run bars, neighborhood shops, and small businesses whenever we can. Not only does it support the local economy, it gives us the authentic Spanish experience we moved here for. We learn so much from these interactions rather than using an automated checkout that we can press a button for English. And did you know that local businesses in Spain are also often far better value than the majors? Time definitely moves slower here, and whilst foreigners can find that frustrating to navigate, for me, it's taught me to calm down, take my time, and not worry that I'm holding up the line. Every interaction is, again, another opportunity to learn something. Number 5, I adapted to Spanish life. I didn't expect Spain to adapt to me. We eat at local times, we celebrate local holidays, attend festivals, and embrace the traditions that make this country unique. We teach our children how to behave correctly in Spanish society. We dress and present ourselves well. We make an effort to blend into our surroundings. The more we participate, the more connected we feel. There is only one team I'm cheering for in the World Cup. Spain is my home, and I want us to win. Number 6, I am endlessly curious. I ask questions constantly. What does that word mean? Why do you celebrate this? What's the tradition behind that? Spaniards love sharing their culture with people who genuinely want to learn. And I am obsessed with learning, the perfect partnership. That curiosity has opened more doors than perfect Spanish ever could.
Number 7. We travel as much as possible within Spain. Spain makes exploration incredibly accessible. Local and provincial councils spend a lot of money and allocate generous resources to local tourism. Museums, historical monuments, and natural wonders are extremely good value on purpose. Spain wants you to learn its history, to understand its traditions and cultures. We venture near and far and visit a new place almost every weekend. It's one of the reasons I started this channel, to be able to share the incredible things I get to see and learn. We don't spend our time in pubs built to look like the ones back home. We go exploring and try to educate our children.
8, we eat seasonally. The quality of fresh produce in Spain is wonderful. And if eaten when it's in season, it's great value. Anybody telling you that it's cheap to live in Spain is probably trying to sell you something. We find that where we may save money in one corner of our life, we're paying more in another. We did not move here with buckets of cash to throw around. And even if we did, we would never flaunt it. It's important to teach my children good saving and spending habits. And one of those is learning to live close to the earth. Therefore, we eat what the Spaniards eat and what the country produces. We live to a very strict budget. Which brings me to number 9, talking about money. We are very conscious about the rising cost of living here, especially rents and property purchasing. We researched what the local market was and were not prepared to pay more than that just to get somewhere to live. I understand the concern about finding a place. Competition in Spain is indeed fierce. There is a housing shortage. However, once you do you really want to be disliked in your entire community because you beat a Spanish family by putting up a year's rent in front? I did have the help of a relocation team to negotiate on our behalf because we didn't speak enough of the language in the beginning to do that. However, with our owner, it 100% came down to my personality that won him out at the end of the day. We are very lucky and have a wonderful relationship, and it's because we treat each other with respect. We are paying no more than anyone else in our area, and I have never felt any animosity towards us. And finally, number 10, I arrived with an open heart. I never saw Spain as something to be afraid of. Do I get nervous? Absolutely. Simple tasks are harrowing experiences, and nothing is ever easy. But from the beginning, I jumped in with both feet. I said yes to invitations, yes to conversations, and yes to experiences I didn't fully understand. My heart was open, and I wanted to experience as much of this country as possible. If you arrive with that attitude, you cannot fail to find a place here. Spaniards want you to succeed. They will do everything in their power to say yes to someone who is genuinely trying their hardest. Every single bureaucratic experience I have had has been a beautiful exchange of kindness and well-meant lessons. I've cried more than once in front of a counter, and never have I been turned away without assistance. It's not always been the answer that I wanted, but I learned from it, and I always came back to succeed. Adapt to Spain, and it will adopt you in return. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're considering a move to Spain, have already made the move, or know somebody who has, I'd be thrilled if you could share this with them. It helps me grow the channel and move closer to my goal of spreading joy, wonder, and a better way of living. And remember, you can come to Spain with buckets of wealth and have a fairly average life. If you spend all your time with people from your own background, speak only English, and do the same things you did back home, you'll probably have a pleasant experience. Or you can come here and put in the effort. Push yourself to try new things, ask questions, and most importantly, listen to the answers. You won't get more out of Spain by talking. Your experience will come from connection, from listening to Spanish people, and learning how they live their lives. Your own life will become so much richer for it. Gracias.
Please be welcome to watch my other videos to learn more about life in Spain. You may enjoy visiting our Patreon, which has extended creators' cuts of some of our most incredible experiences here. I hope you'll join me for more adventures.